From Kim Kardashian getting compared to Kate Middleton in the worst way possible.
The Golden Globes are to the Oscars what Kim Kardashian is to Kate Middleton, basically. Bit louder, bit trashier.
To Kevin Hart getting offered up for adoption by Brad and Angelina on live TV.
As they're going to want to adopt them. Please welcome Kevin Hart and Ken Jeong.
Here are 20 celebrities who got destroyed by Ricky Gervais.
The Hollywood Foreign Press deemed The Martian a comedy and even nominated it. And hence, Matt Damon is here tonight, so that worked a treat, didn't it?
Yeah, apparently Matt Damon's ticket to the party was courtesy of a genre mix-up. The Martian. Sci-fi? Drama? Nope. Call it a laugh riot.
To be fair, The Martian was a lot funnier than Pixels. But then again, so was Schindler's List.
Hollywood Foreign Press, if you're watching, this is why no one takes your category system seriously. But Ricky wasn't done with Matt Damon just yet. Oh no, when it came time to actually introduce him, he took one final swing and dragged Ben Affleck along for the ride.
Is the star of the hilarious comedy The Martian. Oh, he nearly died. Right. He's also the only person who Ben Affleck hasn't been unfaithful to.
Imagine surviving Mars only to get roasted harder on Earth. That intro wasn't just a jab, it was a full tabloid headline, live on stage. But you ever hear a roast so precise it feels like it was gift-wrapped for someone's ego?
The Golden Globes are to the Oscars what Kim Kardashian is to Kate Middleton, basically. What? Bit louder, bit trashier, bit drunker, and more easily bought.
Oof, that was less of a comparison and more of a drive-by. Somewhere Kim's probably filing a defamation lawsuit. And that wasn't all. He had a list of Hollywood divorces read out like a burn book.
What's with all the divorces? What's going on? I mean, Arnold and Maria, J-Lo and Mark Anthony, Ashton and Demi, Kim Kardashian and some guy no one will ever remember. He wasn't around long. 72 days. A marriage that lasted 72 days. I've sat through longer James Cameron acceptance speeches than that.
We've been to dentist appointments that lasted longer. And since we're on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Ricky caused havoc with a comment on Cait Jenner. For context, Cait Jenner had publicly come out as transgender in 2015. And Ricky? He saw the perfect opportunity for one of his signature backhanded compliments.
But as I say, I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously.
Before anyone could breathe a sigh of relief, he immediately dropped the hammer on Cait Jenner. And then Ricky seemed like he was about to praise Caitlin's journey, which, for a split second, might have made people think, wow, maybe he really is being nice.
Of course. What a year she's had. She became a role model for trans people everywhere, showing great bravery in breaking down barriers and destroying stereotypes.
Wait for the punchline. Right as the audience let their guard down, Ricky flipped the whole setup on its head.
She didn't do a lot for women drivers, but...
Yes, Caitlyn broke barriers and shattered stereotypes, but she didn't exactly help the reputation of women drivers. For those who don't know, Caitlyn was involved in a fatal car accident on February 7th, 2015, resulting in the death of Kim Howe. And look, Ricky doesn't just poke the bear, sometimes he charges head first into cancellation territory. Case in point, the trans jokes. Yeah, buckle in.
At least Jeffrey Tambor did it in a dress. What a year he's had. Oh, what an actor, what a role. Yeah, no, it's... Every day he has to put on all the women's clothes and the hair and makeup and let people film it. That takes balls. So, I don't know how he does it.
He really said that takes balls, and then doubled down like it was a biology class hosted by a bulldog.
How he does it? I really don't. I've seen his balls, they're huge and long. I don't know if he tucks them in the bra or does that thing when you push them out the back and let them hang out. Like a bulldog? No one knows. I love Jeffrey Tambor. I don't know if that's because he's such a great actor or because he reminds me of my nan.
Hey, if your acting reminds Ricky of his nan, you know it's coming from a place of weird, slightly inappropriate affection. At this point, you should know that when Ricky Gervais has the mic, no scandal is safe. Not even the kind that comes with matching orange jumpsuits and Ivy League dreams.
I came here in a limo tonight and the license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no, shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for, okay? That must be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to her. And her dad was in Wild Hogs, so...
Man, he didn't just bring up Felicity Huffman, he ran her over with the limo she allegedly helped pay for. And that Wild Hogs punch, that's just salt in the scandal. He then scans the room and starts roasting legends. Actual legends.
Lots of big celebrities here tonight. I mean legends, icons, yeah? Look, this table alone. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
Al Pacino, De Niro, everyone's bracing for impact. And then...
Baby Yoda. Oh, that's Joe Pesci, sorry. I love you, man, don't have me whacked.
Only Ricky could say that and live to tell the tale. I mean, come on. He literally followed up with, "Please don't have me whacked." Smart move. And if you thought calling Joe Pesci Baby Yoda was risky, Ricky had absolutely no fear when it came to swinging at the Brits, too.
The world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And the reviews, oh, shocking.
Yep, James Corden caught a full-body roast. And Cats wasn't even the worst part.
I saw one that said, "This is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs," right?
That review line? Savage. Somewhere even the actual cats from Cats are trying to claw their way out of that movie. And just when you thought the Cats' carnage was over, Ricky pivots from roasting the furball flop to Dame Judi Dench.
But Dame Judi Dench defended the film, saying it was the role she was born to play, because she... I can't do this next joke. Because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her leg, and licking her own minge.
Because why stop at James Corden when you can drag a literal dame into this? And from licking carpets to theme parks, because Ricky's whiplash transitions are an Olympic sport at this point.
Martin Scorsese, the greatest living director, made the news for his controversial comments about the Marvel franchise. He said they're not real cinema, and they remind him of theme parks. I agree.
Yes, Martin Scorsese versus Marvel, the cinematic beef of the decade. And just when you think Ricky's gonna side with the legendary director...
Although I don't know what he's doing hanging around theme parks. He's not big enough to go on the rides, is he? It's tiny.
Boom. Height joke. Man said Marty's not tall enough for the rides in his own metaphor. That's not a punchline, that's a drive-by with a measuring tape. And then he thought, why stop there when you can completely torch the room? Ricky was introducing Afterlife, a show about a man dealing with grief and depression. Sad, right? Well, according to Ricky, still more fun than sitting in that award show.
Watching this show, that's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer, and it's still more fun than this, okay?
But then, just when everyone thought they were safe...
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You had to make your own way here in your own plane.
Boom. The Jeffrey Epstein joke heard round the world. Because let's be real, this was 2020. The internet hadn't let Epstein's suspicious suicide go. And Ricky? He was just saying what everyone else was thinking. And just when you think it can't get darker, in 2016, Ricky took a detour through the Vatican and straight into, why did he say that territory?
So what's happened this last year in this crazy business we called show? The excellent Spotlight has been nominated. Yeah.
Spotlight, an important film, a serious topic. But of course, Ricky saw that as the perfect setup for a Roman Polanski punchline.
The Catholic Church are furious about the film as it exposes the fact that 5% of all their priests have repeatedly molested children and been allowed to continue to work without punishment. Roman Polanski called it the best date movie ever.
Yeah, that sound you hear? That's the audience collectively regretting showing up. Some laughed, some gasped. After roasting predators and priests, Ricky decided to go after millionaires complaining about not being paid enough. Yep. Jennifer Lawrence walked right into the crosshairs.
Jennifer Lawrence made the news when she demanded equal pay for women in Hollywood, and she received, overwhelming support from people everywhere. There were marches on the street with nurses and factory workers saying, how the hell can a 25-year-old live on 52 million? There were plumbers around the world going...
Because what says injustice like only making $52 million by 25? Somewhere, a nurse on her third shift just sprained her eye from rolling it too hard.
There were plumbers around the world going, poor girl in town, what's lucky now?
Even the plumbers were like, bless her heart, she's practically on food stamps. And he didn't just stop there. Ricky had some thoughts about Hollywood's most aggressively advertised friendship.
Joy and Trainwreck. No, not the names of Charlie Sheen's two favourite hookers. The films of our next two presenters. They're best friends, by the way. They wanted me to tell you that. And if you forget, they said they'd tweet you.
Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence, besties, BFFs, bonded for life, and apparently contractually obligated to remind us every 5 minutes.
Basically, they come round and shout it through. They're best friends. It's like they've never had a friend before. Please welcome Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence.
It's giving first sleepover energy. You know the vibe. Matching outfits, shared Instagram captions, and just a touch of, we swear this isn't a PR stunt. But if there's one person Ricky's roasted so hard it probably shows up on their medical chart, it's Mel Gibson.
2 years ago, on this show, I made a joke about Mel Gibson getting a bit drunk and saying a few unsavoury things. We've all done it. I wasn't judging him, but now I find myself in the awkward position of having to introduce him again.
You can feel the tension. Ricky's pretending not to judge, NBC's pretending this is fine, and Mel's probably pretending not to hear it.
I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC for this terrible situation. Mel blames, we know who Mel blames.
By this point, it's less of an intro and more of a hostage video with a punchline.
Listen, I still feel a bit bad for it, right? Mel's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does. No.
And just when you think he might let Mel off the hook, boom. He blames it all on the booze. Classic.
I want to say something nice about Mel before he comes out. Oh yeah, okay, here you go. I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby. Please, Mel.
A hotel room, a drink, and a Cosby comparison that sent every PR manager in the room into cardiac arrest. And that wasn't even the first time he made that joke.
Now listen up. I hope I haven't offended anyone. I didn't mean, it's not my fault. There's a lot of powerful people here, so if I said it's... Honestly, I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
You know it's going to be a wild night when the first name dropped is Mel. And the punchline is basically, I drink, but not that much. He just kept going at him, dragging others into the mix too.
Hey. It's no tough guys, do you know what I mean? No Russell Crowe, he wouldn't be seen dead here, it's TV. It's... Or Christian Bale, same, no. Kiefer's got a couple more hours before it gets really messy as well, so... Mel Gibson, come on. No, come on.
Russell Crowe? Not showing up unless someone's handing him an Oscar or a phone to throw. Christian Bale? probably method acting as a man who doesn't do TV. And Keith Urban, well, give it 2 drinks.
I'm not gonna have a go at him. He's been through a lot. Not as much as the Jews, to be fair.
Then there's Mel, and just when you think Ricky might go easy on him, boom. A history lesson from hell. That joke didn't just cross the line, it launched over it, waved goodbye, and kept running. And speaking of people who want nothing to do with these award shows, Ricky had a little message for Eddie Murphy. Let's just say when Norbit says yes and you get a no, you might want to rethink your brand.
Who needs the Oscars? Not me, and not Eddie Murphy. He walked out on them. He said no, and good for him. But when the man who said yes to Norbit says no to you, you know you're in trouble.
That's not just a roast, that's a full career review in one sentence.
I love Eddie Murphy. He loves dressing up, doesn't he? Versatile. He's versatile. No, he is. Bit of trivia for you, actually. Eddie Murphy and Adam Sandler, between them, played all the parts in the movie The Help. Isn't that brilliant? They were brilliant.
By the time he brings in Adam Sandler and The Help, yeah, Hollywood's probably filing a class action for emotional damage. Now, Ricky claimed he was playing it safe this year. No personal attacks, no low blows, and definitely no Mel Gibson.
And I mustn't mention Mel Gibson this year. Not his private life, his politics, his recent films, and especially not Jodie Foster's Bieber.
Yeah, that promise lasted about 3 seconds. It's like watching someone promise not to start a fire while holding a lit match behind their back. And in case you thought the scandals were getting too serious, Ricky pivoted straight to Justin Bieber, because nothing says hard-hitting journalism like teen pop and turkey basters.
Other celebrity scandal, Justin Bieber nearly had to take a paternity test. What a waste of a test that would have been. No, he's not the father. The only way that he could have impregnated a girl was if he'd borrowed one of Martha Stewart's old turkey basters.
Honestly, somewhere even Martha was like, leave me out of this, Ricky. Later on, Ricky almost gave women in film a wholesome moment. Almost.
It's been a big year for women in film. Bridesmaids, one of my favourite comedies of the year, yeah.
He started with Bridesmaids, gives it some love, and then, as always, swerves right into chaos.
Ping in the sink. I actually heard for a search the cast spent the weekend with Dame Helen Mirren. She's dreadful. Honestly, you don't see a lot of it because she's got good PR, but she's off the rails.
Dame Helen Mirren catching strays like she's been sneaking vodka on set. Good PR or not, Ricky made her sound like a Bond villain on a bender. Even at the 2009 Golden Globes, he proved himself as the king of chaos.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell?
Apparently writing, directing, and starring in the original UK version means nothing when Hollywood finds a guy with a wider smile and better hair. But what really stings, the way Hollywood worships Steve Carell like a comedic genius.
He's amazing as the bumbling office manager. Where does he get his ideas from?
Where does he get his ideas from? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the original show that was already written for him. And when he came back to host in 2016, Ricky decided he had more chaos to unveil. He chose his next target, Johnny Depp.
Just before, I want to ask you a question. It's real. You can have some.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Off to a rowdy start, aren't we? And just so you know, Ricky humiliated his film at last year's Golden Globes.
It was a big year for 3D movies. Toy Story, Despicable Me, Tron. Seems like everything this year was three-dimensional. Except the characters in The Tourist.
Ricky was just confused about how it landed a Golden Globe nomination? But here's the twist. Ricky hadn't even seen the movie.
I feel bad about that joke. No, I'll tell you why. I'm jumping on the bandwagon because I haven't even seen The Tourist. Who has? But no, it must be good because it's nominated. So shut up, okay?
A year later, he was standing next to the star of the movie, about to grill him even more.
Yeah, and be honest.
What?
Are you on recreational drugs? I'm joking. No, that's not the question. And we all know the answer.
Now, if you thought that was a controversial question, watch what he does next.
Ready?
I guess so.
Have you seen The Tourist yet?
Have you? No.
That's a note as good as any to end your monologue on. But the best roast came at Leonardo's expense. You know the joke's brutal when Leo's dating history gets side-eyed by royalty.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So... Even Prince Andrew's like, come on, Leo, mate, you know. You're nearly 50.
Honestly, the only thing aging faster than his dates is this man's tolerance for age-appropriate relationships. And how could Ricky ever go without taking a dig at Kevin Hart?
When Brad and Angelina see our next two adorable little presenters, they're going to want to adopt them. Please welcome Kevin Hart and Ken Jeong.
Not sure if that's a roast, though. I mean, Kev's probably the only grown man who hears, "You're so cute, I want to adopt you," and takes it as a standing ovation. And if you like this video of Ricky Gervais roasting celebrities, you're going to love this next video on your screen.